I know. So much easier than going to a studio.
Absolutely. Thank you. Thank you, guys. Thank you. Hello, everyone. So here I am with Nadine Baggott. Now, Nadine Baggott is a legend in the beauty industry, but she and we used to meet in the green room at ITV. She's done loads of TV. She's beauty editor in loads of print and also contributors for lots of television. But I think it was the Alan Titchmarsh show where we last met, wasn't it?
And we were just sitting before we started filming trying to work how long ago it was, and I think it might be 3 years.
Yeah, it might have been. It was a great show. There's nothing that's replaced it. A good old afternoon chat show with everything. It was like Variety, wasn't it?
Yeah.
By the way, I will cut away at this point and just show you what we've done as soundproofing this room. Philippe, if you'd like to show everyone, 6 buffets up against the door, and we're hoping that's going to work. Thank you for coming here.
My pleasure.
We are in the Hospital Club, this is owned by, who was it used to sing with Annie Lennox?
Dave Stewart.
There you are. Dave Stewart, guys. This is Dave Stewart's club, and it is amazing.
There aren't many YouTubers you could ask that question of.
I asked my crew, and there was just like, I don't know who you're on about.
You have to have been around in the 80s.
Right, Nadine, where are we now in the beauty industry, do you think?
I think it's an interesting time. So I've been a journalist my whole life, the way you have, across various different mediums. So I think we've both worked in radio and television. I've worked in print, I've worked in newspapers and magazines. And I think beauty's in a very strange flux at the moment, in the sense that it's split, in the sense that there's a huge science-based movement, and then there's a huge clean stroke natural-based movement. And they're not actually that far apart, they're just being marketed in different ways. But for me, the big difference is the way it's consumed now. So it used to be consumed on television, and it used to be consumed in magazines, and now it's all being consumed digitally. So anybody who's anybody gets their information on YouTube and Instagram.
But not from everybody. So most of us have been following Nadine because she was there at the beginning of all this, and trust is such an important word. Trust in broadcasting, trust in promoting. People have always trusted you because of years and years of experience. You've seen what's come out, what's been sent to you. But you will be caught out, won't you, if you are not honest about what you use. And you are so honest.
I'm brutally honest.
Brutally honest.
Yeah.
You'll say things like, look at this, this is what's happened because I've done this, that and the other. Look at this, look at this.
I always say that I'm a human guinea pig. I test it so you don't have to. But then that's been my whole career. Also, I've never really worked in very nice, glossy magazines, so I've never been led by advertising. I've always had the freedom of speech. I've been very much in that sort of vein of Sally Hughes, that we've been quite lucky that we've been given editorial independence to say what we genuinely think and feel. And I think that's partly my personality as well. I always say to somebody, don't ask for my opinion unless you really want it. I'm just warning you first. So I'm a firm believer in tough love, and that's with everything in life, including products. And I will call out products for what I call beauty bullshit or marketing hype, and it's very interesting. So having gone from TV to magazines and newspapers, back into TV, doing little bits of radio and things like that, for the first time when I went digital, my followers had direct access to me, and they would call me out as well. So I might mention a serum that I particularly like, and somebody would say, you do know that £139 is enough to feed a family of 4 for a week. Nobody ever tells a glossy magazine journalist that, or a TV journalist that, so they feel they can come back at you. And so it's been quite a humbling experience, and it's made me even more passionate about finding products that work at a reasonable price for real women. Like real women like you and I.
And one of the things that Nadine does, and I'll put the links below, and I urge you to have a look at her channel because you do reply to all the comments.
Yes.
So
it's a lot of work.
Yeah, no, it must be. And you don't remove any. You keep
No, good, the bad and the ugly. I don't filter, I don't face tune. Somebody said to me, it was very clever a couple of years ago, somebody said to me, you know, whenever you create a piece of content, you've got to think, you know, social media comes into for so much flack about the sort of, I suppose, the sort of banality of it and the sort of selfie generation. Nobody's really following me because I'm pretty or I'm aspirational, and I'm no Kardashian. So they've got to follow me for information and advice. It's always having that. It's a little bit like you would never create a radio show and not think, this is all about my listener. This isn't about me. Nothing's about me. I'm not the message. I'm purely the vessel to get the information across. And I always keep that in the back of my mind no matter what I do. So on Instagram, I've got this IGTV thread where I go, come shopping with me. And we do a bit of surreptitious, I get a videographer and we go a bit of surreptitious, filming, and we go into Boots or we go into Superdrug or we go into Selfridges or wherever we go. And we're all sort of doing it a little bit illegally. I have been manhandled out of a few stores in my time. And we do it. And what I'm basically saying to people is, if you had the opportunity to go shopping with a beauty editor of 30 years, let's really cut through it. Let's talk about what works, what doesn't work, what's reasonable price, what to skip past. And if people say to me, I noticed that you skip past that entire brand, why? I tell them why.
Yeah, she does. I mean, when I asked if she'd come onto my channel, she said, yes, I'd love to. And by the way, I've got a very good brand of lip salve because I'd been going on about my lips.
Am I allowed to mention it?
Yeah, no, go on, mention anything.
La Roche-Posay Cicapace Lèvres.
And 2 of my listeners from my radio show, when I went on air saying my lips are swollen, have said, you must watch Nadine Baggott because she will tell you about La Roche-Posay, which I'd never even heard of, this lip salve. I want to bring something else out. Now, this is...
Can I just say, the thing about lip balms is most of them, 9 times out of 10, they are formulated, if they're for irritated lips, they're formulated to cool your lips, therefore they contain mint. If they contain mint, they will in the long term irritate your lips.
Course.
So what you need is skincare quality ingredients that hydrate without fragrance. And that's what La Roche-Posay is.
As I said, I am not sponsored. This is not sponsored, but I'm now going to bring out, if you came into my bathroom, most of it is down to you.
I didn't know about this.
Let's
have a look.
Seriously, now, you say something, and this is really interesting. I used to sort of put very thick moisturiser on my face, and Nadine said, if you're using good serums, you don't actually even need a moisturiser. And if you use retinol at night, I didn't even know what retinol was, and you suggested this.
I love this product.
I'd never heard of Paula's Choice. I live near Selfridges. I live at the back of Selfridges. They stock it. Again, we're not sponsored. This is retinol, and I honestly think, now I cooked my skin in Australia growing up, but I honestly think this is helping deal with my skin. This came through you. Just explain to people why.
So Paula Baggott was one of the first people ever. She's a journalist. I don't want to do her a disservice, but she must be in her early 60s now. So that when I was growing up, instead of having marketing hype, she wrote a book called Don't Go to the Cosmetics Counter Without Me. And it's a huge, great big tome. The problem is you couldn't possibly take it to the cosmetics counter because your bag would weigh a ton. And it was basically an honest review, 5-star, out of 5-star rating of all the products that were on the market at the time. And it was the first time I ever looked at a book and I thought, oh, this person gets what we want. Like, let's apply science to skincare. Let's talk about what works and what doesn't. And then she eventually created her range, which was with her principles, which is got to be unfragrant, it's got to have active level of ingredients, it's got to be reasonably priced. And that is her gold standard. So that is a 1% retinol. Retinol is a vitamin A derivative, and it's the gold standard in skincare. It really is. So there's a prescription version called tretinoin or Retin A, and this is sort of 10 times, 20 times weaker.
Love this information.
And what it does, all ages can use it, all skin types can use it, men and women can use it. There's no difference between men and women's skin. There should be no difference between men and women's skincare. And essentially what it does is it basically makes your skin as optimally healthy as it is.
There you go. This is all in her head. She's full of this.
30 years. Some of it's got to have gone in.
But Nadine, we didn't have serums. I never,
No.
There was
Do you remember the first ever serum?
No, what I remember...
Estee Lauder Advanced Night Repair was
the first ever. And you love that, don't you?
I do like it. It's a very nice serum. And I remember when it was launched, we all looked at it and thought, what's this weird little brown bottle with a dropper? Because in those days, it was a cellophane, a box, open a lid, maybe a little posh spoon. That was the way we thought about skincare.
And you still advocate that one. When I was in Crossroads, sorry about this, we all went to Rackham's in Birmingham because suddenly I was being paid a decent wage as an actress. And we bought the 3-stage Clinique.
Yes.
And it removes, sorry, I know it suits a lot of people, but that toner just removed like 3 layers. Well, I washed my face with the soap.
Yes.
Then I got really dry skin.
There's a solid cleansing bar, and then there were their clarifying lotions.
Clarifying lotion.
And then there was dramatically
Beautiful
DDML, yes, which was actually quite a lightweight liquid.
It was.
Now, what's interesting about that is, what was most drying about those clarifying lotions is the fact that they're alcohol-based. Right. Even though it was a dermatologist-based range, however, they have got one now, which is the one twice daily, which has got no alcohol and it's still salicylic acid. So you get all the active ingredient.
So you can do your 3 stages of Clinique. Okay, this...
I love this. This is like a mini Sally Hughes in your bathroom.
I honestly promise, so I've banged my mic, but I tell you, if you came in my bathroom, and I couldn't bring it all in because I've just come from doing my show, and I couldn't carry it across. This, you sold me, because I just had my hair cut. There is so much bleach on it, and...
Your hair's beautiful, though.
Yes, but thanks to you.
Oh, really?
And do you know why?
Yes, Virtue Labs.
No one, now, most people wouldn't even know where to get hold of this. I had to hunt this out. I go to that amazing Bells and Croydon in...
John Bell Croydon.
John Bell Croydon, thank you.
On Wigmore Street.
Oh my God, it's wonderful. That's where I got this. This, now you said to me, I was watching you and you said, so there's human keratin in this. I don't actually know what that means, but I thought, well, that's good enough. And look, no split ends.
No. So, I love that you're picking really iconic, amazing products. So Virtue Lab is genuinely the only company in the world that has human hair keratin in it. Human hair keratin, your hair's made of keratin. It's basically dead fibre. And a lot of companies have used keratin, but they've used pea or they've used wheat proteins. So basically, in China, there is a factory that gets all the ends of hair from hair extensions, wefts, weaves, all that sort of stuff. They found a way of micronizing it. They take the human hair keratin out of it, and then basically they put it in their products. And it's the principle of
homeopathy, serving like
for like. So basically what you wouldn't do is you wouldn't put anything onto your skin that is not natural to your skin. So your skin uses vitamin A naturally. It uses ceramides, it uses vitamin C naturally. So what they're doing is saying, why put a vegetable protein on if you can get human protein? And when I went to the launch of it, somebody said, does that make it vegan? Which is a mind-blowing question, because technically it is vegan, although actually it's human-derived.
So is it?
And so then we were like, or is it slightly Hannibal Lecter? Because I can't quite wait.
It's quite cannibalistic if you think about it.
Except it is a dead protein, so it's being shed naturally. And the technology was originally developed for wound healing, because they worked out that you could put human hair keratin onto wounds and scars, and it would help it heal faster.
Just one more product and these were all introduced to me by Nadine, because I'd been around a long time, but I'd never heard of these. And the other one I had to really hunt out, and there's Boots on Oxford Street. If you're not in London, try and find a really big Boots. And this is, and I don't know if I'm pronouncing it properly. So I have very dry skin. For body lotion.
Oh, I know what you're going to say.
But is it Elactorate or what?
Ameliorate.
Ameliorate. Now, I've never seen it advertised. It's not sexy packaging.
Smells a bit weird.
Smells a bit weird. Is quite expensive, but my God, you don't need as much of it. How did you even discover that, or were you sent that?
I was sent it, but I also had over the years, I've tried so many things, and now I'm of a certain age, I will only use what works. And I couldn't understand why body lotions were just nice and a bit moisturizing and smelt nice. And I thought, why would I use an acid or a retinol on my face and not use it on my body, especially when you get to a certain age and you're sort of slightly more wrinkly and a bit more crepey. And Ameliorate was developed by doctors for something called keratosis pilaris, which is, I don't know if you've got any friends that have got little red bumps on the tops of their arms. Even children can get it, or the backs of their legs. Anyway, it's got lactic acid in it. And lactic acid is a resurfacing acid that is derived from sour milk, which is why it smells slightly yogurty. But it's incredible. There's nothing else like it. So it basically goes on your skin, it hydrates it, it resurfaces it. If you sleep in it overnight, get up the next morning and have a shower, your skin will be so soft. No, it will help get rid of ingrown hairs and shaving nicks and little red bumps and grazes and all those things. And it will just keep your skin really hydrated and smooth.
And you'll never see it advertised. I've never seen it advertised anywhere.
Space NK sell it. And I think all of the big online retailers like Cult and Feel Unique and people have it. It's incredible. I met the chemist at an event the other day, and he came up to me and he went, our product is a success because of you. You just talk about it so much.
Exactly, and I've never heard anyone else talk about it.
So you're using 3 really strong, active ingredient-led products. And if you'd have brought Ameliorate out, it would have been colour coordinated.
Yes, it would have been as well.
It's white and blue.
You do have amazing skin, and
Thank you.
And that was with a down light in the lift when I greeted her, which is the most telling light you'll ever be in. Do you think it's because you've treated it with care and stayed out of the sun. You're. See, I never use SPF. Don't say anything. Don't say anything. I hate SPF. I know you're going to scream. Is it because you used SPF?
No, because my generation didn't use SPFs. I've put 2 recent videos up. I did spray body SPFs because if you are going to use an SPF on your body, it's got to be super lightweight, it's got to feel like nothing. And the new generation ones are like water on your skin. They're so light and they're incredible. And then I did really lightweight mattifying ones for your face. But the truth of the matter is, in the 70s and 80s when I was growing up, nobody used an SPF. South of France, 18, topless sunbathing, white thong bikini, ombre solaire, SPF 2 oil. So I do not deserve the skin I've got.
No, you don't, damn it.
The only reason I've got the skin I've got is because I've used over the years skincare that really works.
Yeah.
And what annoys me about the beauty industry, and I know Sally feels the same way, what annoys me is it's a multi-billion-pound industry, and yet for some reason, because it's associated with women, it's seen as being lightweight and fluffy and not really working. And products actually do work. You just need to be a bit clued about what you buy.
And Sally Hughes was on my show last week and talking about the Queen's outfits. I don't know if you've seen her.
Yes, Rainbow Queen. She's got that book. I gave it to my mother. It made my mum's day.
But she, I said to her, The Guardian took you seriously enough to give you a column. For The Guardian to do a column, and has done for years, on beauty is extraordinary. And you were there. You and Sally, you were pioneers, actually, in this industry. So I'm going to finish looking at where we go now. Is there a product that is needed? Because you must think some people are just reinventing the wheel. There is so much stuff we don't need. Is there something we do need that hasn't been brought out?
One of my main criticisms of the beauty industry is there's just too much stuff. And I know that fast fashion has been around for years, and people I really admire, like Karen Franklin, are speaking out against it, because we never had fast fashion growing up.
We'd save for weeks for one.
And we'd buy vintage and second hand and all that sort of stuff. And now what worries me is there's too much fast beauty. So if you go into places like Primark and Zara, there's so much stuff that the young generation are just hardwired to shop. And I'm anti that. I'm actually about buying less and buying things that really work. If I could develop a single product that worked, it would be, there'd be 2 products I would develop. And I think they'd both be drugs. They wouldn't probably be cosmetics. Please God, something to get rid of grey hair, so I don't have to dye my hair anymore. I've been going grey since I was 27. And the other thing would be stretch marks. Anything for any of my friends that have got children. If I could find a cream that there are lasers that work, but they're truly expensive. But somebody needs to develop a stretch mark cream. But the problem is that the grey hair and the stretch mark are both very deep. So your grey hair is happening at the very base of your skin, and the stretch mark is the very base of your skin. And technically, skincare can't get that deep. No, it can't.
I love you. You have a friend called Joe who comes on.
Yes.
And you must watch them, because sometimes
we have a series called The Beauty Hags,
and they actually drink. They're just drinking, and as it goes on, if you do a really long one, by the end of it, they're slightly merry. Slosh. But you also, and I talk about this honesty thing, you also talk about any procedures that you've had, which you hardly had at all, but you had your top lip done.
I did. I had my lips done a couple of years ago.
And you filmed it?
Yes.
And you put that out there
Don't
as well.
watch it if you're frightened of needles. It's not pleasant to watch. But do you know the funny thing about that is I upload twice a week, every Thursday, every Sunday on my YouTube channel, and I had my lips done, and I was waiting for the video to come back from the videographer the way you would, so it takes a couple of weeks to get to you. So I carried on sending out videos, and nobody noticed I had my lips done. And then the minute I put the video up, they were like, "Oh, they look ridiculous, Nadine." There's a lot of judgment out there. And I was like, that's really funny, because you didn't notice them 2 weeks ago. So some people, it's very divisive about being honest. And in fact, on Friday, I'm taking Jo Jones, my fellow beauty hag, and we're going to go down and we're going to film us I have a tiny bit of baby Botox, a minuscule amount. And there's something called Volite, which is like an injectable serum. So it doesn't actually change the shape of your fin, it just hydrates the skin. And we're both going to get it done, and we're going to film it and laugh.
And can I ask how you've kept your neck? Sorry. So Raj Grover, who lives around the corner from me, Dr. Raj.
I love Raj Grover.
Everyone trusts him, top plastic surgeon.
He did.
Do you want to say this?
Yes, no, because she did it in Vogue. She wrote a piece in Vogue.
Pull in, focus. Oh my dad, I'm joking.
He did. Who's the lady that's got a podcast called The Guinea Pigs now with Miriam Zamani? She used to be on Vogue.
Don't know.
He did her neck for her, and she covered it in Vogue. Yes, he did a lower face knit for her.
Do you know
she's talked about it. I'm not.
So she obviously looked better than me, and we're going to put all this out. I walk my dog, he loves my dog, and I live round the corner from where he is. And I said, Raj, you know, I want my neck done. And we were between two cars, I will always remember this. And
nothing like getting a quick consult from the head of the British Association of Aesthetic Plastic Surgeons in the street.
It saved me like 250
quid easily.
Between cars. And I said, I'd love to have my neck done.
So what you want is a lower face and neck lift.
Well, he went, and I thought he was going to say, I seriously thought he was going to say, Jo, you don't need it. And he went, you got to have this, literally the whole lot pulled up. And I went, oh.
Thank you very much,
Mr.
Mr. Grover.
Thank you, Mr. Grover. How much would that cost? I mean, I'd have to sell my flat, my car, and everything else. But I'm thinking about it. Would you ever? You don't need it. But would you ever?
I would never judge. In fact, I did have my lower eyes done when I was 35. I had congenital, i.e. ran in my family, pads of fat. So it wasn't about wrinkles, it was about pads of fat. And I used to do a lot of this morning then, and the lighting guys would come in and they'd be playing with the lighting, trying to make me look good. And I always looked like I had puffy, swollen eyes. Best thing I ever did.
Yeah.
So I would never,
fantastic.
ever judge anybody for having work done. I really wouldn't. And I know two people that have had lower face work with Raji Grover, and he did a beautiful job, and that's all. Kay Burley also had her face done. And he's done a beautiful job with her. She looks amazing.
She talks about it as well. You're everything I wanted you to be. Thank you. So check her out. All of the, I mean, my whole bathroom's full of her recommendations. Also her with Jo is fantastic because they're beauty hacks. Is that what you call them?
That's it. We're called the beauty hags.
The beauty
It's
hags.
about owning the term hag because everybody says you're an old hag. Well, if I am, I'm going to get drunk and own it.
And aren't we lucky there is technology now, Nadine, that we can sit here and do this?
I know. So much easier than going to a studio.
Absolutely. Thank you. Thank you, guys. Thank you.
My pleasure, Jo, always.